Hello everyone and welcome to CWU Live. This week we have a real mixed bag for you. We're actually in the final phase of prepping all of the brilliant technology behind the camera to be ready for our first ever major live Q&A with the members in the coming weeks, when we will talk Royal Mail USO, the takeover bid and much more. Today we have some great features and an important interview for you. Let's get to the interview first. So it's Mental Health Week. The CWU has done some excellent work in this area over many years, but the stresses of life inside and outside of work are increasing. I'm really pleased to be joined online by CWU representative Jamie McGovern, who is Mental Health First Aid and TUC Safety Rep of the Year in 2022, an award given for his relentless work in this area. Jamie, welcome to CWU Live. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Brilliant. I'm good, thank you very much. Firstly, do you want to give an overview of some of the work that you've undertaken?
Yeah, I think the biggest recent body of work we've undertaken is the training up of over 300 people in our region and probably over 500 nationally on mental health first aid. So that's been a huge undertaking, but it's been a very valuable undertaking because we've seen the real rewards that mental health first aid is bringing into the units now. We're involved in a lot of disability risk assessments now and mental health sort of stress surveys and stress questionnaires to try and get people reasonable adjustments in the workplace. So thankfully many conversations are happening and a lot of these are being done by the people we've trained up.
Thanks, Jamie. Next sort of question. Why do you think this work is so important for the CWU and in fact all trade unions?
Yeah, I think it's really developed over the last few years. I think there's been almost like this perfect storm of stress developing. We've had the pandemic, for example, the cost of living crisis. Obviously, we've been in dispute. We've had major changes going on in workplaces, and all this constitutes the increase in stress. So it's incredibly valuable to us as a trades union to have people we can go to when we're struggling, people who know what the Lord elements is, who knows what a stress risk assessment looks like, and just people have a listening ear. If we can get as many of them in our workplaces as possible, then we can start to, really support our core membership.
No, that's brilliant. Thank you very much, Jamie. In your view, are politicians doing enough to raise awareness and crucially put in place support for mental health issues?
In my opinion, no. I see a lot of lip service. I think there needs to be more done. Access to mental health services is limited. I mean, we have to use a lot of signposted organisations that have helped CW members, and we use, positivity and feedback from those members to then champion those organisations. So there needs to be more done by politicians. It's a massive issue. I mean, you've only got to look at the number of suicides. And I think the big one for me now is that we need to get work-related suicide recognised in the UK. It's not right that work-related suicide, there's no mechanism for collecting data on that, and the politicians can change that. That is something that needs to happen, because the only way we become a suicide-safer organisation and a suicide-safer country is if, work-related suicide is recognised.
Yeah, very crucial work there. If anyone is watching and suffering with their mental health, what would be your key recommendations for them?
I think the key recommendation really is value yourself and reach out for support. If you value yourself and you do reach out for support, you'd be surprised what support is out there. Sometimes people have just got to press the pause button and reset, and then see what options are there for them. We try and encourage people who have got mental health conditions, identified as disability, to claim that they're entitled to their reasonable adjustments, and they're given recognition for that disability in the workplace, because then we get things like disability passports, workplace adjustment agreements built in, and these can go a long way to sort of assisting people in the world of work.
Crucially, and for CWU reps, many now find themselves used as unofficial counsellors. How do they get the training and support they need? The role of a rep has changed so much. As I say, I mean, they're inundated with people's problems now and find themselves as counsellors. What would you suggest?
I think reps need to value themselves as well, and there absolutely needs to be support for the supporters, because the rep's role has changed, and I think it changed during the pandemic. I mean, I saw it firsthand where reps were just struggling with the enormity of a pandemic, hitting us, and then we're in potentially a life event situation where there's a risk to life, and then trying to give advice out as reps when no one knew the answers during the pandemic. And we saw a lot of reps struggling with that. But we say to the reps, jump on these courses, and even if you want it for the knowledge purpose, get yourself upskilled on what's out there in terms of supporting yourself as a rep, and also expanding your own knowledge. You'll be amazed at the knowledge that's shared now on these mental health first aid courses or mental health awareness courses. And we'll continue to put on as many mental health first aid courses as reps want. That 300 number in the Northwest, every time we put a mental health first aid course on, more people want to get on that course. And, whether you're a rep or you're a member and you want that upskilling, we've got to continue delivering that.
Jamie, firstly, thank you for all the work that you've done. Keep up the great work, as I say. And secondly, it's been great having you on. Thank you very much for your time today.
No problem. Thank you.
Now, a little advert. Tomorrow at 6 p.m, there will be a Zoom meeting for all fleet members. You should have seen the link in your emails, but if you haven't, please speak to your rep branch ASAP and we'll send you the details. These have been very difficult negotiations, and ahead of the members' vote, it's really important you come along at 6 p.m. tomorrow and put your questions to the union leadership. Moving on, the CWU has members across the UK, even off the mainland. We represent hundreds of postal workers at Jersey Post on the island of Jersey. Is everything the same as Royal Mail? Are there other challenges? Is public ownership better? Our Head of Communications, Chris Webb, spoke to the branch and put together this feature.
Hey everyone, we're over in Jersey. We're here to find out about what the similarities of Royal Mail are, what the differences are. We're in the middle of a pay negotiations here, so it's a really, really important time and a really interesting time. And obviously it's right that the union profiles not just our bigger companies, but everywhere we've got members. So it's been brilliant to be over here for a couple of days, meeting Lee and everyone, and Andy and everyone from the branch. Let's go have a chat with them, see how they're getting on. Steve Halliwell, our national executive member, is here as well, leading pay negotiations, supporting pay negotiations. So we'll speak to him and we'll catch up with a couple of members.
Because it's an island, there's only so much traffic, so you've got to make sure that the company can survive, as well as we'll get the best deal for our members in terms of pay, terms and conditions.
Unlike the mainland, all our mail comes in by the boat. That provides a lot of difficulties. The boats, we get a lot of storms like you in the UK, but a lot of the boats are not coming in, or they're coming in late. That has an effect.
There's issues in terms of retention here, because the inflation's been mad. I think is probably the best phrase I could use.
It's really difficult when you work a lot of hours, to get involved in things, because it takes time. It takes, we were at the meeting last night. That's, time that could be at home with my family, but it's worth it because you do build the relationships with your colleagues that way as well. We're all in the same boat. We're in it together.
We must stick together. If we're divided, we will fail. There is no doubt about that.
If you've got a view of what we should be talking to the employers about on your pay or your terms and conditions, whatever it is, your holiday entitlements, then join the union, and have a say, get involved, be strong with us, and we'll do what we can for you.
Thanks to Alice, to Steve and to Lida for their contributions. Thanks to the branch for looking after us, showing us about. Really, really fascinating. What's so many similarities to Royal Mail out here, that culture, the back and forth, the banter that everyone's having, all of the sort of respect and the trust on the doorstep that postal workers enjoy like they do back in the UK. And they're tackling the same issues. Royal Mail cancelling the flights means the mail gets here on the boat. Sometimes the boat's reliable, sometimes it's not. Then you see that there's a little bit more ambition here, I would say, in Jersey Post than we've seen from Royal Mail, with stuff like, you get HelloFresh and you get other food delivery companies that are delivered by DPD and other couriers in the UK. They're all delivered by Jersey Post here. So lots to learn, lots to take in, and we look forward to bringing you more segments like this from across the union in the hundreds and hundreds of companies where we've got brilliant members.
Brilliant stuff there, and very interesting. Let's get Royal Mail back in public ownership. On this show, we've even often emphasised the importance of backing other workers and the wider trade union movement. This year marks 40 years since one of the most important, significant trade union battles ever, the miners' dispute. Last weekend in Wakefield at the annual Banners Held High event, the Leeds No. 1 branch and North East region ensured a great CWU turnout. A special mention to Scott Haslam for his hard work. We went along to check out the event.
We are women, we are strong, we are fighting for our lives, side by side with our men who work the nation's mines. United by the struggle, united by the past, and it's here we go, for the women of the working class. You don't need government's approval for anything we do. We don't need their permission to have a point of view. We don't need anyone to tell us what to think or say. We've strength enough and wisdom of our own to go our own way. We are women, we are strong, we are fighting for our lives, side by side with our men who work the nation's mines. United by the struggle, united by the past, and it's here we go, for the women of the working class. They talk about statistics, about the price of coal. The price is our communities dying on the dole.
Absolutely brilliant. That's it for this week. So much is going on though. Please keep an eye out on our social media channels for regular updates. We're planning a big live session with you and can't wait to get that properly announced. Until then, thanks for watching, listening, and stick with your union.